Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. So, in last episode, we had the season simulation, and as you can see, we went 45, 29, and 8, which is a pretty solid record. However, in terms of the Western Conference, it wasn't really that great of a spot that we finished in on because the Western Conference is pretty stacked. As you can see, we finished with the 6th best record in the Western Conference, but in terms of the entire league, we are the 8th best team. So basically, there was only 2 Eastern Conference teams that were above us, which were Boston and the Pittsburgh Penguins. But anyways, we're going to be taking on the President's Trophy winning Anaheim Ducks in the first round. As you can see, they won with 106 points, so we weren't really too far back of them in a sense, but it was a pretty tight, I'd say, top of the Western Conference in a sense, just because you can see there's only like less than 10 points separating us in first place on winning that President's Trophy. So we could have easily won the President's Trophy this year if we were a little bit better at certain stages, but all in all, we had a pretty successful season, and I'm excited to see what happens in this playoff run because we are getting to near the end of the series because we're at 2040, which means I think we have like maybe another 4 or 5 seasons left of this franchise mode, and then there is no more Draft to Glory probably till NHL 24 more than likely, unless you guys want me to do a Draft to Glory with one of my throwback franchise modes, but maybe we'll do something a little bit different with that. Yeah, let's show you guys the Anaheim Ducks lines again just in case you forgot, but yeah, I think we have a chance just because the fact we're both like kind of similar in terms of like the standings and whatnot, but Anaheim does have a pretty good team in a sense. Like you can see they have really good center depth. Archer's really good on faceoffs. You got Booze, you also got Chang. You also have some solid wingers like Cato and Vihicola. Also, Kostitsyn's not bad, and Wyman. Brossoit's a little bit weak to have on that first line, but it's still a really good forward core, and then the fourth line's pretty average. Then we go to their defensive core, and it's also kind of lacking depth. So it's kind of, I'd say, between their offense and their defense, the main problem with them is the lack of depth, especially on the defensive front. Offensive front, not as much, but defensively, they got like Minyukov, Korchinski on their top 2, so kind of two top 4 defensemen. But then these guys are more like all top 6 defenders and below. Like you have Kazanov, who's an AHL top 4D, so this guy has dropped off a lot. This guy was from the same draft as Jorgensen was. So that's why he's dropped off so much. And their goaltending combination is pretty solid as well. So the goaltending definitely makes up for their defense. As you can see, they have an 86 in Ricky Meyer, who might be up there for the Vezina. And Corbin Stasiuk's not that bad of a backup too. So they actually have some good goaltending. Their defense is a little bit meh, but their offense is pretty solid too. So it's definitely going to be a close matchup, I think. And I could see it easily going to a 7-game series. So there's their lines. Let me show you guys our lines right now. I think they're the same as I left them. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we have still Parrott, Keith, and Hartnell. That line's been together for like the last 4 or 5 seasons at least. Then we have Jorgensen, Claxton, and Darby. If we need to make any line changes, I'd probably move Jorgensen to the third line, move Bobkov up. But for now, the third line has Bobkov, LaRose, and Vico. Vico coming off an insane rookie season where he scored 38 goals, and I am so glad I signed him to that because look at this contract that we signed him to. 8 by 1.4. Like I was just basing it off the fact that this guy had good offensive awareness and a good shooting category, and like if he gets into our top 6, this guy could score 40 or 50 goals and only be making $1.4 million. So I think if Jorgensen and some other guys on the top 6 start to retire, Vico could be a crucial piece to that top 6, him and Bobkov. So very excited to see what those guys do in the playoffs. And in our fourth line is Hagos, Reinhardt, and Lucic. We might put the Enforcer and Sabrin in occasionally, depending if we are losing in the series, because maybe we need somebody to pound some teeth. So he might get some chances this year in the postseason. And then defensively, we got Danner and Bouwmeester still, Strachan and Denny, and then Ackers and Cronwall. So our defensive core definitely isn't as good as it has been in the past, because in one stage we had, I think, like 4 elite defensemen in the top 4, and now we have like 3 top 4 defenders and a bunch of like top 6, well, 1 top 6 I'd say in Strachan, and these 2 guys are kind of more AHL defenders, so this is definitely the lowest point our defensive core has been at. And we have a solid goaltending because we got Novikov, we got Pusher, and we even also have Aiden Tays as a depth goaltender, and who knows, maybe Aiden Tays will get a chance to play in this playoff run. So anyways, that was their lines and our lines. Let's get into this first game of the first round and see if we could pull off the upset and knock out a President's Trophy winning team, because I feel like the sky's the limit. Pretty much I think the favorite right now in these playoff run, though, is the Calgary Flames, just because of that Lukovic guy. But Honestly, I have no idea. We honestly might have a really good chance at getting far again this year, but it just depends on our defensive core mainly, and if our young goaltending can do good, because Novikov has not played a playoff game since Game 7 of like quite a few years ago, like 3 or 4 seasons back. So if he doesn't play that good, and if for some reason Pusher doesn't play that well, then Aiden Taves might get a call, and hopefully Aiden Taves plays like he did when we won the Stanley Cup. So let's see what happens. Last time we played Anaheim was right near the end of the regular season. We won in overtime in 4-3. So maybe that's predicting that this would be a series where we win in 7 games. That'd be pretty interesting if that was the case. But let's get into game 1 on the road. See if we could get off to a great start here. Because if we can win on the road, then maybe we could win on home ice too. And anything can happen in this postseason. So first period of game number 1. And we're done 2-0. That's not good. Not a great start for Novikov. 2 goals against on 12 shots as Typalus and Kostitsyn scores. Not a great opening period. I mean, 7 shots is not terrible, but obviously they only had 5 more shots and they scored 2 goals. So I'm hoping that this is one of those type of things where they score 2 goals and then we answer back with 2 in the second period. But honestly, if we even just get 1 goal in the second period, it'd be great to get us back maybe into this game and get our offense going a little bit too. So can we get this game tied up or get a goal back in the second period? Still 2-0 Anaheim. So far their goaltender has been playing pretty good. Like I said, their defensive core is nothing special. It's just their goaltending is definitely a lot better than ours overall-wise. So maybe that's where the difference is going to be in the series. Is if their defense and their goaltending can shut down our offense, then they have a chance. But our offense, I think, is in a way a little bit better than theirs, just because we have a lot more 90-plus guys or 89 and above. But and we also have them a lot more experienced in Anaheim, so I hope that we could use that to our advantage in this one. But let's see what happens in the third period. See if we could get back into this game at all. Maybe at least get 1 goal. Kostitsyn scores again. It's funny that guy's named Sergei Kostitsyn. Hey, look at that. Vico scores his first playoff goal in his first playoff game, coming off 38 goals in the regular season. So that's good to see. That's a positive I'll take away from this game, despite us being down by 2 goals. And then we make it 3-2. Jorgensen, the captain, pulls us within 1. Can we tie the game up at 3? No, we cannot. Typalus gets the empty netter, and we unfortunately lose 4-2. But that was a solid third period for us. We almost came back. Shots were 29-28 at the end of it. So very even first game, I'd say, despite us losing by 2, just because that last one was an empty netter. So I don't know if I'll make any drastic line changes for the next game, but Vico's first ever playoff goal from Bobkov and LaRose. Good to see that third line going. Jorgensen from Claxon and Denny is the other one. What line was Typalus on, though, for them? I don't even remember. He had 2 goals. How much ice time did that guy have? Was he one of their top players? I think he's one of their top liners. Yeah, 18 minutes plus 3. Yeah, that guy had a really good first game. Gotta give it a shout out to that Typalus dude. And there's the 3 stars. Kostitsyn, Typalus, and Spike Cato. Spike Cato's got probably one of the coolest names in a franchise mode, though. I don't think I've seen a guy named Spike before, or that often, but imagine being born with the name Spike. Because then, like, people could say, like, you're the sharpest tool in this shed, you know, just because your name's Spike. Oh, man. And that is making me think of that, Hey Now You're an All-Star song. I wonder if he was an All-Star. Okay, let's take a look at Novikov's stats. 892 save percentage. Not great. I could always turn the pusher already, but I don't think it's worth it yet. And I think I'll keep the rest of the lines still the same for now. Worst comes to worst, we could always move Parrott to center or something like that. Yeah, we're only down 1-0 in the series. If we lose this game, then I'm going to be probably making some adjustments, though, so we could get maybe back in the series. But hopefully we can get off to a better start next game, because those 2 goals that we allowed in the first period basically was the difference in the last game. So let's see what happens in game 2, see if we could get off to a better start in the first period and maybe tie the series headed home, because tying the series headed home would be good. Like, splitting at least games on the road, that would be a good way to start it off-wise, and then maybe we could win at least one of the 2 games on home ice, or even both. So we could still set ourselves up for a good scenario here. Here we go, game number 2 in Anaheim. Can we tie the series at 1 apiece? First period, 1-1. I'll take that. That's a better start. We score first in this game. Jorgensen again, so good to see the old man scoring, considering this might be one of his last seasons in the NHL, because he could be retiring at the end of this year, because he's like 35 now. So it's either this year or next year probably that you see him maybe start to decline quite a bit. And then Cheng scores to tie the game at 1. Shots are 9-6 in favor of Anaheim. So Novikov had a solid first period, and their goaltender not as much. So let's see if we could take the lead back in the second period. Second period, still 1-1. I'll take it. Well, we're being badly outshot. So this is a pretty good playoff game for Novikov here. We're being outshot 21-12, so he's kind of keeping us in it. We're definitely not getting a lot of chances, which is not great considering we're more of an offensive-based team at this stage. Can we find a way to take the lead in the third period? Because if we can win this third period, we have a tie series headed home, and who knows what happens once we get onto home ice. Come on, boys, let's tie the series up here. Let's do it. Let's get that next goal. That next goal is crucial. There we go. Vico again. Let's go, Vico. And Vico scores again. Vico honestly might start to become like a little bit of a channel legend near the end of the series just because he scored that 38 goals in his rookie season. 2 goals in the third period. They got one back though. Come on, guys. Kill out the rest of this game here. Maybe get Vico an empty net goal. That'd be nice. And there's no empty netter, but we do win 3-2, and we have tied the series headed home to Anchorage. Let's go. Because of 2 third period goals from Vico that were like a minute apart. Pretty nice. Pretty solid second game. Can't complain. That first game was also kind of solid. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to make any line changes yet. But Jorgensen from Mackers and Claxon, and then Vico from Bobkov and LaRose, and Vico from LaRose and Bobkov. So, yeah, that third line's been our best line so far here in this round. So, Vico the first star, Cheng the second star, and Novikov gets third star. Because, yeah, Novikov was pretty solid in that one, too. So, we are back in the series. Tied at 1, headed home, which is good because if we can win at least one of these two, at least we have still like a tied series. But if we win both these games, we set ourselves up for a very solid scenario. But obviously, I have been up 3-1 in series before and then lose 3 straight games, so I don't want to count my chickens at that stage if we do end up going up 3-1. But there's still a lot of problems that could happen with that type of lead. So yeah, Vico's definitely been our best player so far. 3 goals. Rose has 3 assists, and Bobkov has 3 assists. Like, these guys all just help each other out really well. Because you got 2 playmakers, I think. Yeah, 2 playmakers and a sniper. But yeah, Bobkov and Vico probably are the future of this top 6. Once guys like Parrott retire, Keith is kind of getting up there in age. I don't think Keith is going to retire before the end of this franchise mode, but Parrott might, Jorgensen might, and Claxon might as well. I don't think Hartnell will. Yeah, Hartnell's only 28. So a few of these guys in the top 6 will probably retire before the end of the series, which is kind of sad. But that's the reality of these drafted glories. Once you get into the later years, you start losing some guys that end up going on to the Channel Hall of Fame and all that type of thing. So who knows who's going to be in the Channel Hall of Fame from this series, because I am already thinking about that type of thing on who's nominees and stuff like that for the Channel Hall of Fame. Because obviously I might do like my Channel Hall of Fame stuff like right as like maybe around September this year instead of December like I did last year, just because it'd be kind of too cool to do it right at the end of NHL 23 instead, in like every game basically. So anyways, enough of me rambling about that stuff. Well, let's get into game 3. We are on home ice now. Can Novikov have another strong game? Can Vico score more goals? Let's see what happens here in game 3. First period, 1-1. Same outcome as last game, not bad, but they scored first this time around. It was Tootin and an Avery Parrott score, so good to see that top line score considering it hasn't really done a lot so far in the series. Shots are 12-9 in favor of the Ducks, but it is a 1-1 game. Can we get the lead in the second period? Second period, still 1-1. Okay, this is a very similar outcome to the last game in a sense. I like that though. Shots are 25-16 in favor of them, so we're not getting a lot of chances again. And once again, Novikov is playing pretty solid here in the playoffs, which is good because we like to have good playoff goaltenders. Because if you don't have a good playoff goaltender, then your team usually loses, even if you have like the best roster possible. Like in our Chicago series, losing to Colorado in the first round after that type of season was absolutely detrimental. I can't believe it. Let's see what happens in this third period. See if we could get the lead again. Come on, boys. Let's have a good third period here. We have the home ice now. We could win both these games. That'd be huge. Power play opportunity, and we do score a little bit after the power play. It's Ryan Danner, who last time I remember him scoring in the playoffs was in the Stanley Cup Finals, and then Cheng ties it up, and we get the lead back. It's Vico. Man, I like Vico. Vico is literally going to be worth every single penny on his contract, and he gets the empty net or 2 on the power play. 4 goals. 4 goals or 5 goals? 5 goals in the series for Vico, coming off a 38-goal rookie season. I am so glad I gave him an 8-year contract because I feel like after the season he probably would have been like, yo, I'm worth like 5 million plus as a 78. So I'm really glad I locked him up when I did. So Parrott from Keith and Danner, Danner from Jorgensen and Claxon, and then Vico from Bobkov and LaRose, and Vico from Claxon. Let's go, Vico. First star for back-to-back games for Vico. Novikov the second star. Yeah, Novikov had another great game, and Danner the third star. But we have taken a 2-1 series lead, so we have a series lead for the first time. Can we take a 3-1 stranglehold? It's not really a stranglehold, I should say, because of the fact that I've lost 3 straight games before. So hopefully that is not the case with this series. But let's keep the lineup the exact same. I don't see there being any use for making any changes. I know some lines haven't been doing that much, but it's okay. And my controller batteries are low apparently, so I will have to probably change those as soon as possible. I probably won't do that yet until it actually dies on me while I'm recording. So anyways, let's see if we could take a 3-1 series lead here on the Ducks. We have foam ice advantage for this game too. That would be huge, especially on the President's Trophy winning team. First period. 1-0 us. It's LaRose. It's the third line again. Shout out to the third line, man. They're being like a first line right now. Because our first line has been very quiet except for that Parrott goal, I think. But this third line has literally been like every single game they've had points. And Vigo's had now, like, he probably assisted on this goal. Like, I think everybody on this line probably has like 5 points already in the series. So it's pretty nuts how good this third line has been. You need to have that good playoff depth to go far in the playoffs for sure. Shots are 13-8 in favor of us, so we're outplaying them for a change. So their goaltender had a pretty solid first period despite giving up 1 goal. Can we still have the lead going into the third and maybe get some insurance, because that'd be huge. Second period, 1-1, they tied the game up. So this is another very close game to the last 2 games. In general, every single game in the series has been pretty tight. So Viacola scores on the power play. We're out shooting 28-15. So yeah, Ricky Myers definitely keeping his team in the game, kind of like what Novikov was doing for us the last 2 games. Can we get the lead in the third period here? Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Let's get that next one. Will Vico score any third period goals here? No, he will not. It's Viacola, the other V. It's a battle between Vico and Viacola. Both Finnish players. Come on, guys. We're down by a goal with 5 minutes left. Can we tie this game up and force OT? And no, we cannot. Ricky Meyer bounces back with a 41 save performance. So, yeah, I expected them to have a good goaltending effort in one of these games. But now we have a tie series headed back to Anaheim. Yeah, this might go 7 games. So, LaRose from Bobkov and Danner is our only goal. And then Viacola scores his first 2 goals of the playoffs to win it for the Ducks. And yeah, Ricky Meyer, pretty much the difference maker in that game. No problems with Novikov in that game or our offense or anything, really. Just Ricky Meyer was just a brick wall. So nothing we could do about that, but I might make some adjustments for this next game. But yeah, Vico has been fantastic. 5 goals in 4 games. It was 5 goals in 3 games, but unfortunately, no goals in that last one. But his line still did score. And he is a +3 in the playoffs, which is great. Yeah, his entire third line has 5 points in 4 games, so no complaints from that third line. And yeah, no complaints from Novikov's performance either. If I was to make a change, it'd maybe be with the top 6 a bit. Let's put Jorgensen back to the top line. No, that gives it a minus. Let's go Darby top line. Hartnell down to the second line. Yeah, I think that's what I will do. He's a left-handed shot, so let's put him on the right side. Yeah, let's do something like that. Move Hartnell down, move Darby up, just to change, maybe change the complexion of the top 6 a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep the rest of the lineup the same because it's been a pretty tight series for the most part. All these games have been like 1 or 2 goal differences, pretty much. So, because we lost the first game by 2 goals, which one of them was an empty netter, so technically lost by 1 goal. We won by 1 goal. We won by 1 goal technically because Vigo scored an empty netter. We lost by a goal. So yeah, it's been a very close series. Let's see if we could get that lead in back in the series, though. We're now headed to Anaheim, so this is a very crucial game. We lose this game, we have to win 2 in a row. We win this game, then we have a chance to close out the series on home ice. Here we go. Game number 5. My controller batteries are still good right now, so that's good. Let's see what happens here in the first period. We're up 1-0. Okay. Vico again. Oh my goodness. I really hope we could win a Stanley Cup this year just because I want to see how much goals Vico would have by like the Stanley Cup Finals, because 6 goals in 5 games in the first round is really, really damn good. And this guy's only a 78 overall. He just has a really good shooting category, and he's playing with some solid line mates. So literally, overalls don't matter. You just need to find somebody with really good shooting categories and offensive awareness, put them with some good players. They should probably be able to produce, probably at the NHL level, my guess. But good stuff from Vico. Like I said, worth every single penny of his contract. Fantastic. Like, I feel bad that I gave him 1.4 now. Like, I feel like he should be worth like more than that, but obviously it's very helpful for a cap situation having a guy on that cheap of a contract and producing that well. Shots are 10-9 in favor of us, but we're up 1-0, so pretty close game so far. Not a surprise. Second period, 6-0. Okay, and Vigo's got a hat trick. What the heck? Well, that's like the most explosive second period I've seen this team have. So Ricky Meyer, after having a fantastic game, gets pulled, and Stasiuk's now in net. But Parrott made it 2-0. Vico scores his second. Parrott scores to make it 4-0, and Hartnell scores to make it 5-0, and Vico scores again to make it 6-0. Vico's got a hat trick in this game, and he's now up to like 8 goals and no assists, I think. I don't even know. Let's just do a real-time simulation for this third period, even though we're probably going to win this one. Unless we allow 7 goals in the third period, which, I mean, I've seen that type of thing happen, but it doesn't happen that often. There you go, Jorgensen makes it 7-0. I feel like our offense might dry up, though, the last 2 games after having such a good game like this. Because we're only up 3-2 in the series. It's not like this one's closing out the series, right? So Anaheim is still in this, despite losing this one 7-0, with the shots being dead even 28-28. So another great game from Novikov. He gets a shutout. But let's take a look at these stats. So Vico's 6 from Bobkov and Strachan. Parrott from Keith and Darby. So that top line getting reworked a little bit helped out. Vico from LaRose and Bobkov. Parrott again from Keith and Cronwall. Hartnell from Strachan and Claxton. And Vico from Claxton. Jorgensen from Keith and Darby. So I think maybe reworking that top 6 helped out a little bit. Because Parrott picked up 2 goals because of that. And Jorgensen helped out that top line with Hartnell. Well, Hartnell's actually second line now. But yeah, all those top 6 lines really started to pick it up a little bit. We almost had 2 hat tricks in that game. Keith had 3 assists, Vico had the hat trick, Parrott had 2 goals, Darby, Strachan, Claxton, Bobkov all had 2 points. Like, it was a fantastic performance from every single player. And only 3 players were not out there for a goal, and that was the 4th line. Not a surprise, though. And there's the shutout from Novikov. Who is the 3 stars of the game? Vico to first star again. That's the 3rd time in this series he's been a first star of the game. Let's go, Vico. And then Novikov, the 2nd star with a shutout, and Parrott, the 3rd star with 2 goals. We are 1 win away from going back to the 2nd round, which is great. And Calgary is down 3-1 to the Canucks. So I thought Calgary was going to be the favorite this year in the playoffs. They're now down to 3-2, so they still can win their series, but they might get eliminated, which is kind of a surprise with the 95 over franchise guys. So can we close out this series? We're going to keep the lineup the exact same for this game out, especially after scoring 7 goals. Can we close out the Ducks? Because if we lose this game, I feel like our offense is going to be nowhere in Game 7. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that. But I do feel like this still could go to 7 games. So here we go. Game 6. We're on home ice to close out the series. Can we close out the Ducks and head to the 2nd round? First period, 1-1. Okay, not bad. That's pretty similar to every first period we've had in the series so far. Because Zanoff scores a short-handed goal. It's not good to give up a short-handed goal, but whatever. And then Jorgensen scores a power play goal on the same penalty. Because it was only like 40 seconds later. So 1-1 after 1. Shots are 9-6. Anaheim in favor of them. Can we get the lead in the 2nd? Or can we at least put up a lot of shots in the 2nd to maybe give ourselves a better chance in the 3rd period? 2nd period. 3-1 Anaheim. Oh no. Yeah, our offense is drying up. That's not good. Tootin and Cheng scores, and it's another short-handed goal given up in this game. 2 shorties. I don't like that. I do not like that. We need to have a strong 3rd period here, or else we're going to a Game 7 in Anaheim. Like I said, I felt like this series was going to go to 7 games, and so far looking like it might actually do that. Let's see what happens in this 3rd period, see if we could have a strong 3rd period. But it looks like our offense is going to dry up after scoring 7 goals, potentially. Power play, come on, boys. Let's get back within 1. We do not get back within 1. Yeah, I think I'm going to make some line adjustments for Game 7. Yeah. And Cheng scores to make it 4-1. That game's not on Novikov. The offense just kind of dipped completely after that 7-goal game. Like, I'm not mad at the offense, but definitely needs to find ways to score goals again consistently. Our only goal is Jorgensen from Darby. I might have to put Vico on the top line for Game 7. He's definitely deserved that opportunity to play in the top 6 with some really, really good players. So I think that's what I'm going to do for a drastic theme for Game 7. But hopefully we can win this game. And Calgary has been eliminated. So if we get to the second round, I feel like we're one of the better teams out there offensively. But I don't really know how good a lot of these other teams are. Because Dallas has like Bickle. Seattle has like Zikov. I don't know about the... Oh, the Jets still might have that really good top line. I think that was in this series, right? Maybe it was. Colorado shouldn't be that much of a threat at this point, but I don't really know. Let's go to edit lines here and see what we could do for Game 7. So let's put Vico on the right side on this top line. It does give it a minus, but I don't really care at this stage. And we'll put Jorgensen with Bobkov and LaRose. Who has a better shooting? Probably Jorgensen, because he does score goals. Yeah, it's Jorgensen. So we'll put Jorgensen on his offside so he can score goals. I am also going to throw the enforcer in, I think, instead of... Who do I want to put in? Take out? Who do I want to take out? Let me look at the defensive awareness on some of these guys. 84, 86, 94, and Lucci. Jeez. Yeah, I think I'm going to take out Hagos. I do like Hagos, but we'll put Sabern in for Game 7. Maybe just to give us a better chance of having puck possession. And obviously I think I'm still going to run with Novikov because he's not been disappointing at all. I could try and go with Pusher or Taze, but yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with for Game 7. Vico might make it a -1, but yeah, I think he deserves to be on that top line for a game, even if it does make it a minus. Can we win Game 7 and get ourselves to the second round, or are we going to be eliminated in the first round of 2040? Okay guys, let's get into Game 7. I decided just to change my batteries off, so I did like a little bit of a cut there just because I wanted to change my batteries already, just because if we do intervene in games, obviously I don't want my controller dying and all that type of thing. But here we go, all important Game 7 on the road. How have we been so far on the road? We've lost 1 game, we've won 1 game, we've won 2 of our 3 games on the road, so... And we've outscored them 10-2. So technically we might have the upper hand here, but who knows. Let's see what happens. Real-time simulation. Can Vico come through on the top line? He's playing with some really good players this time around. And Reinhardt opens the score. And okay, the 4th line. That's good. We put the enforcer in, and the 4th line gets a goal immediately. It's good to see. As the 4th line has definitely been the most quiet line, but they don't get a lot of ice time. They only get like 8 minutes a game. So that's good. And Parrott scores. Let's go. Maybe Vico got an assist on that. You never know. But we're up 2-0 after 1 in Game 7. That's a great way to start off Game 7. Shots are pretty even, 12-11, but we're up by 2 goals. 1 from our top line, 1 from our 4th line. Let's see if the 2nd and 3rd line can get going a bit in the second period. But let's keep on it, guys. Keep our foot on the gas pedal. Get that 3rd goal, and that would be huge. That would be huge. Let's go, Parrott. Parrott always steps up in the biggest of times. He has 2 goals here in Game 7. He might be like the new Justin Williams in a sense. Like, he definitely steps up in big moments, as we saw when we played Colorado in the conference finals. And we're going to be up by 3 goals going into the 3rd period of Game 7. We're outshooting them 26-17. Good to see our offense doing good. Good to see our defense doing well. We win these 20 minutes, and we're going to the second round. So let's see what happens here in this final 20 minutes of Game 7. Let's just lock it down. Power play opportunity. They get a shorthanded goal. You gotta be joking me. Oh, no, don't do this to me, game. You're going to do this to me, aren't you? We gave up 3 shorthanded goals in our last 2 games, and then they get a power play goal, but Vico. But Booze gets it right back. Oh, my goodness, this is a crazy Game 7. I'd be literally on the edge of my seat if I was watching a real-life game right now. And Danner, let's go to the empty netter. And that is going to do it. We are headed to the second round after probably a very scary 3rd period. As to be honest, when they were down by a goal here, I thought they were going to tie it. That goal by Vico turns out to be the game-winning goal. He had 9 goals in the first round. And then Booze got them back within 1 again. But then Danner's empty netter sealed the deal. Whew, that was a close one. Very, very close. Reinhardt from Brown, or not Brown, what am I saying? Brown. Reinhardt from Bomeister. Parrott from Keith and Vico. So Vico did get an assist on that first Parrott goal. Parrott from Hartnell and Denny. Vico from Parrott and Keith. And Danner from LaRose. What a first round from is it Mika Vico? I don't even remember his first name, to be honest. Parrott gets first star though, Cato the second star, and Vico the third. But we are going to the second round, and we knocked out the best team in the Western Conference. That is huge. That is huge. What a first round for Vico. That assist that he got in Game 7 was his first assist of the first round. That's funny. Let's take a look at these player stats, and then we'll see who we're facing in round 2. But Parrott, fantastic first round. 5 goals in 7 games, 6 points. Claxton, 6 assists in 7 games, really good. Keith, 6 assists in 7 games, really good. Hartnell was definitely quiet. 2 points in 7 games. We need him to be better in the next round. Reinhardt was quiet, but he's a fourth liner. Vico, fantastic. 9 goals on 24 shots. He shot 37.5%. He had 4 game-winning goals in the first round, which means every time we won a game, he had a goal that won the game for us. He had 4 game winners out of 4 games that we won. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Mika Vico for president or prime minister or whatever. Actually, I guess president since he's playing in Anchorage. But wow, this contract just looks better every single episode. He's only averaged 14 minutes of ice time too in that first round. But yeah, after I saw his 3 years in the AHL and I saw his shooting category, I'm like, this guy needs a long-term contract. He has not disappointed at all. Bobkov, fantastic, 7 assists in 7 games. Darby, only 3 assists, so he needs to get going a little bit. Saber, nothing in 1 game. He had a fight in that 1 game, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, he had a fight in his only playoff game. So we put him in to break some teeth, and he did just that. Good way to set the tone. He probably won't be starting second round, though. Probably not. August, no points, but a -1 only. Lucic, no points, even 0. LaRose, 7 points in 7 games. Can't ask much more of LaRose. He is a pending UFA, which is a bit scary, but oh well. And in Jorgensen, 4 goals and 5 points. He was really good in the beginning of the first round. And then defensively, Danner was good. Everybody else on the defensive core kind of quiet, but some of the defensive numbers were really good. Like, Kronwall's a 75, and he was a +7. So that's great. And goalie-wise, Novikov was fantastic. A .921 save percentage and a 2.29. And we're headed back to the second round. Who are we going to be playing in round 2 is the question. We'll take a look at their lineup as well as how they've done so far in the playoffs. Shooting-wise and all that, like goals for. We are going to be taking on the Vancouver Canucks. Okay. They finished only a little bit above us, so this could be an interesting matchup as well. They went 47, 27, and 8, and they're 4-3 and 3 in their last 10 games going into the playoffs. Yeah, this could be an interesting matchup. First, let's take a look at what they did so far during the playoffs, also regular season-wise, I guess, too. And then we'll take a look at their lineup. But, yeah, they were only 4 points above us. So this could be a very even matchup. They are a little bit better offensively, it looks like. Their defense was also a little bit better than ours. Our power play was better, and their penalty kill was better. So pretty much they're better at everything, except for the power play percentage. We did have way less shorthanded goals as well. And they were pretty solid on both home ice and away. Well, we were better on the home ice than away pretty much for most of the time. Interesting. Yeah, this should be a pretty good matchup. I don't know what their lineup looks like, so... Oh, wait a second. I'm just remembering. There is a former player there. You guys might already know off the top of your head. Larry Wong should be there. I think I showed you guys that in the last episode. Or, yeah, I think it was last episode at the start of the season. He did sign with the Vancouver Canucks, I think. Maybe not. No, he is. He's their fourth-line center. Why are you using him as a fourth-line center? Oh, well. But this is their team, and this is definitely going to be a step up from playing the Ducks. So their offensive core has some really good players. Lars Charnquist, originally drafted by the Canadiens. They also have Nikita Petrov and Braylon Pope. It's an interesting name. Kai Kempinen, Mitchell Domingue, and Warren Shingtime. And a third line of Lionel Chipchura, Leon Indris, so 2 Leons in a sense, and Reiner Grice. And a fourth line of Morgan Cuff, our former boy, and Larry Wong. I don't know why he's playing fourth line time, but oh well. He had 38 points. He is getting power play time at least, so that's good. He has 4 points so far in 6 playoff games. And Clifford Estopoulos. In terms of defense, they're definitely not that great. They're very similar defensively to the Ducks. But they do have one standout, and that's our former defender as well, in Olli Herikala, who was one of those elite defenders I was mentioning at the beginning of this episode, actually, I think. He had 44 points this year, which was the most since he was with us. He hasn't been producing a super lot, but he doesn't really get a lot of power play time, it looks like, which is kind of a surprise. They also have Johan Johansson. Damn, that's a great name. Alan Goddard, Peyton Nicholson, Mika Järvinen, and Andre Cardwell. Why do I recognize Cardwell? Oh, I was looking at old episodes recently. I think this is a guy I had pinned way back. I was looking at potentially drafting, and I didn't end up drafting. Wow, this guy's dropped off a lot for 33 years old. Damn. I think I remember him. Christian Schulz and Gabriel Deg. It's not. I don't know if it's pronounced like Alexander Deg or not because of the apostrophe or whatever it is. They also have Emil Järventi, Kenny McTaggart, and Bryce Chelios. You could say like the great-great-grandson or probably the great-grandson of Chris Chelios, we could say. I don't know. But yeah, that team is definitely a lot different in Anaheim's. They have a lot better of an offensive core. The center depth is probably similar, but that defensive core is definitely similar. The goaltending-wise, they have at least a stud goaltender, but both teams had good goaltending, but the backup isn't as good. So it might be a very similar matchup to the first round. I don't really know. Might go to 7 games again. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the second round against Larry Wong in the Vancouver Canucks as we look to somehow get back to the conference finals where we would either face Seattle or the Winnipeg Jets. So anyways, think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.